Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. What a night for the NBA last night. A lot of good teams played, and a lot of good teams lost. It was a good night for the NBA. For better or worse, another three-point shooting contest. And before we get into the Lakers, because this is what everybody wants to hear about, LeBron being out-clutched again. And the triple-double at the end of the day means nothing. So let's look at some of these scores before we get into that. The Sixers beat up on the Magic without Embiid. I keep trying to tell you guys, I just can't believe these guys are making this kind of money. And an organization would allow the star player to literally rob them out of the money. That makes no sense, folks. Embiid, Kawhi, PG, all these guys. We can just go on down the list and, different things in how they're robbing these organizations. Therefore, I don't think these guys are making this kind of money. No workplace will put up with that because you will lose, you know what I'm saying? You will lose your customers. How could you pay somebody who isn't productive at work, who isn't basically coming to work, refuses to come to work, and you're paying them money? Forget about the millions of dollars. I'm talking about at a normal workplace, you're not coming to work, you're going to get fired. Or you're doing something unproductive to not make the company move. If you're not productive at your company, it's hurting your company. It's hurting the production. Your customers aren't going to come there. Blah, blah, blah. We know how this works. So you guys can keep thinking these guys make this kind of money. I don't believe it. There's no way. Of course, LeBron has to get his son $8 million for what? The guy's a billionaire. Come on, folks. Let's keep going. I'll talk about that all day. The Bucks and the Celtics. This game, it was a good game. Live by the three, die by the three. Giannis had 0 fouls, folks. What is that? Is that possible? Giannis, let me look, had 0 personal fouls. Don't tell me about good defense. 0 personal fouls. What is that? Giannis had 0 blocks. So I guess that just goes together, right? 1 assist, 1 offensive rebound. He did have 10 rebounds, which to me, when we talk about 10 rebounds, you would think that's oh man, that guy had a good night. When you talk about Charles Barkley or Karl Malone or Ewing or Alonzo Mourning or Oakley or, some of them guys. But they were battling great power forwards, good small forwards that could get a lot of rebounds, and great centers. So 10 to me isn't good in this era. 10 is weak. 12 and up is good. Joker showed you that the other night when he grabbed 20. How did he grab 20 rebounds? Because he said, I'm going to go out here and grab 20 rebounds. Nobody's going to stop me. You imagine Joker grabbing 20 rebounds against Hakeem? What about Patrick Ewing? What about Mutombo? What about Rodman? What about Oakley? What about Moses Malone? You guys got to stop, man. I'm telling you, you could do anything you want on a nightly basis in this NBA. Nobody's going to stop you. That's why when Joker goes out here and said, I'm going to average a triple-double, and guys just bouncing off of him, boing, 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 the most athletic era of all time, with not a cut, not a muscle, don't know what a weight is. They got, literally, I posted this, I think Sports and Fitness Rants, on one of his posts. I said, there's WNBA players that are bigger than these NBA players today. That's crazy. WNBA players. But yeah, Joker can do what he wants to do on a nightly basis because not only there's no defense, but there's nobody to disrupt you from doing anything. So let's keep going. Middleton 11 points, Portis 9 points. Who's this? Lillard 31 points. 4 for 12 from 3. Tatum 34 points. He had a solid night. 4 for 10 from 3. This is what I'm talking about, guys. So what is that? 40. He shot 40% from three. He shot 40% from three last night. But check it out. He shot 10 threes. This is what I'm talking about. Literally, I think anybody in the 80s and 90s, if you gave them 10 shots at the 3 point, they're going to hit four. They're going to hit three. So you're going to say, oh man, that guy shot 38%. Man, that dude is on. But he shot 10. Man, that man shot 40%, but he shot 10. That is unheard of back then. And it's not because, the guys couldn't shoot 10 threes to hit four or hit three. It's because the defenders are so solid back then. You would just be, you couldn't hit it like that. It would be a waste of time. Nobody's going to, once they saw somebody bury a couple threes, you was done. It was going to lock you down. I keep trying to tell you guys, the starting five that was always on the floor was the best defenders, right? When we take the Bulls, Paxson, he eventually had to come off the bench because B.J. Armstrong was a better defender, not a better shooter, a better defender. Kerr had to come off the bench because Ron Harper was a better defender, not a better shooter, a better defender. So you had to have your best. I was trying to think of some other name. But you had to have your best defenders out there first. And most of the time, your best defenders were a lot of times your best shooters. So if you was a good shooter, say Pippen, he wasn't a great shooter, but he had to become, somewhat of a good shooter if he had a slash to the basket, pull up from mid-range, not far from the basket, some way to get those points. But he had to be a great defender. That's just how it was back then, man. You just couldn't be on the floor. And you want to, what I'm trying to say is, we could give guys 10 3-point shots back then, but they would be bricking it up because the defenders were so good. In this era, they have to tell the defenders not to be defenders for these guys to hit all these 3-point shots. It's not that they can shoot the three real good. It's the defense, folks. Guys could go watch the 80s and 90s. Go watch some of these games, right? You don't see all these pick and pops, all these screens. You don't see that. You see a guy throwing to a guy on the post. You see a guy cutting. You see a guy able to take his guy one-on-one. Yes, there are some pick and rolls, but today it's insane, folks. And what it tells you is the only way these guys can really shoot these threes is pick and pop, pick and pop, pick and pop, pick and pop. They can't shoot these threes one-on-one. They're not that good, folks. And that's what kills the game because these guys aren't really getting these shots organically. Like, just taking a guy off the dribble and shooting it because it's not a good shot. They need a pick and roll or a pick and pop. And Milwaukee shot 29 threes at 37%. So where's the Celtics? The Celtics, did they shoot really 53? Really? 53 threes. Wow. Let me keep going, man. I don't think anybody's going to beat the Celtics. As long as they get the home court advantage, I think they sold this up when they got Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown should be the MVP of that team. I mean, I say Jaylen Brown. What's his name? Goodness, I forget his name already. Drew Holiday. When they got Drew Holiday, it was over. Because they was already a stout defensive team. Now you really have nowhere to go. And these guys will bomb away from three. and more likely they're efficient. I mean, they weren't too efficient last night. What did 32%? But they just got too many names. Nobody nobody's gonna beat them. It's gonna have to be a big choke job. So we'll see what happens. I don't see any. They're just too deep, man. Um, let's go to some other scores. Yeah, Wemby didn't play last night, and that's what I'm talking about. You guys always want me to talk good about this guy. And like I said, this guy isn't consistent. I'm telling you guys, my new prediction: he's going to be out the league in 5 years. Um, he's going to be hurt. He's going to have knee problems. He's going to have all this stuff. He's going to be one of them dudes. What could have been? Basically, what could have been? He can't defy basically what everybody else had to go through. And they weren't going through a run and gun. I mean, you could say Ralph Sampson, it was a kind of a run and gun, high pace in the 80s in the West, but I just don't think it was like this, man. I don't even think it was close because, Ralph Sampson still played in the post. Wemby is out on the block. He's running around. He's not going to make it, man. 82 games a year. And if he makes the playoffs even more, he ain't gonna make it, man. Because back in the day, guys, just your centers didn't miss time like this unless they had serious injuries, and those serious injuries. Saw what happened to Odom. Ain't that his name? The guy that looks like LeBron James. Oh man, what's his name? Odom. You saw what happened to these guys, man. If you starting to have all kind of leg problems early in your career, it's no good. It's no good, especially if you can't play through them. Patrick Ewing, I don't know, man. I don't remember him having like real bad knee problems until maybe, well, not bad, but knee problems in general until like his fifth season. I would have to go back and look at it, but he still played. He put on damn knee pads and still played. So you won't bump his knees. He still went out there and played, folks. These guys had to earn their money. They had to earn their status. They had to earn a spot as being an all-time great. Nobody gave you such a mantle and such praise just because you're looking like a great player. And to me, if they really didn't cut out defense and they was playing like they used to play back in the day, you couldn't say you couldn't say too much for a lot of these guys. You really couldn't. What could you say? Because these guys would actually have to earn points, rebounds, assists, um, everything. Let's keep going. So yeah, everybody was beating up on the damn Kings, and now the Spurs get blown out by the Kings. Let's give Anthony Edwards his props. He did have a good game. Um, I don't like how he plays defense. One foul, but there's no defense in this game. These guys are saving a lot of energy not playing defense. Saving a lot of energy by not playing defense. And what they think is, oh yeah, I ain't gonna play no defense, man. We go tit for tat, man. Who can outscore who? Not who can out defend who. That's what's more exciting when players actually have to earn a shot, not who can hit the open shots, who can get a shot freely. So that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe these are the greatest players based on them not having to earn their points. I think he did shoot like nine threes. And look, Curry ain't looking the same, man. And let's go back to what I was talking about. I said this there in the Olympics. I said this before the Olympics started. I said this after the Olympics ended. I said this at the beginning of the season. These guys are 36, 37, 38, 39. Why are you going to the Olympics? You guys have all this money. You guys already have all these achievements. And you're going to trying to prove to the world that some dudes on their last leg can beat some international plumbers. Literally. They're trying to say the world got better. Where is this world that got better? A rookie Wimby, to me, that's been a disappointment this year. Um, to me, won a disappointment in his rookie year, but I don't think he really has raised his level of play in this weak, soft era in his second season. A slow-footed, what's this guy's name? What's this guy's name? Slow-footed Rudy Gobert, Joker, literally playing by himself on Serbia. South Sudan? This is what you had to prove? And you got put in the weakest group pool in Group C, while all the best teams got put in Group A. All the second best teams got put in Group B. So basically, you proved nothing. You was in the weakest group pool. You barely came out that group pool, and you barely won the gold medal with all this firepower. And yet they'll tell you that this team was better than the 92 Dream Team. I don't even know why they even put the 92 Dream Team in there when you got Dream Team 2 and 3. But they're trying to tell you the Dream Team 2, the Dream Team 1, the original Dream Team is going to struggle against Serbia? Is going to struggle at times with South Sudan? And is going to struggle to win the gold against France. Basically, that's what they told you guys. So again, what this LeBron era, this Anthony Edwards era, this whole era right here, what they have basically showed us is not that the world caught up to NBA greatness, is that the American players don't possess the greatness of past NBA great players versus the world. And we saw that in the '06 FIBA. They got blown off the floor by plumbers. '04 Olympics, blown off the floor by international plumbers. In '23 FIBA with the next Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards, who didn't even get a gold medal or a medal period, blown off the floor by plumbers, international plumbers. So these guys, basically, without Kobe Bryant and I would say Kevin Durant, because you got to realize Kevin Durant was winning gold without LeBron James. Still went there and won gold. And if I'm not mistaken, they was losing some games because I think he was out, he was hurt or whatever like that. But when he came back, they eventually won the gold medal. So even as Kevin Durant is, as he should be grabbing more rebounds in playing more defense, it shows that he's better than LeBron. He could lead a team to a gold medal, and I think he got the Olympic MVP. He can do that, and LeBron can't do that. And I told you guys, where was LeBron saying, well, okay, 23 FIBA team, y'all come with me, man. I'm going to put you guys on my back. This okay squad. I got Paolo Banchero. I got the next Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards. I got Halliburton, hell of a point guard. I don't know what happened to him this year. Um, who's that guy? Brunson. I don't know if he could have played. But man, they could have. You're trying to tell me that he could have not have went back, and he's supposed to be the greatest player of all time, in one without Kevin Durant, Steph Curry against slow-footed. Slow-footed Rudy Gobert and rookie Wemby and Joker's plumbing crew. Yes, Joker dominated, no doubt. But who's his star NBA teammates? What about South Sudan? Of course, LeBron couldn't do that, man. People don't look at LeBron like, man, this dude out here getting it, man. He killing it from the mid range. He killing it from the three, like Durant would, like Curry would, like Jordan would, like Cole. So you ain't really got nothing to get behind this guy about. You see Kevin Durant out there. Oh, I'm getting it, man. Kevin out there killing it, man. Kevin out here doing his thing, man. I ain't gonna let him down. And that's what we talked about before. When you watch like football and you see these sucky quarterbacks, well, guess what? These guys ain't gonna go out there and kill themselves. The offensive line, the defensive line, the running backs, the wide receivers. Man, I ain't put myself on the line for this guy. He sucks. Why should I do that? He's just gonna throw interceptions and incompletions. But when you get great quarterbacks like John Elway, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, these guys like this, guess what? Your offensive lineman said, I'm a dig in and block this guy, knock this guy out. I'm a bang through this hole from the running back. I'm gonna make this completion, no matter what I got to do, because this dude is out here leading the troops, giving it his all, and LeBron James could never do that. That's why he had to go play with other teams' number one franchise players, and that's why I tell you guys, this guy um, never led a team, never led a team to a championship, not one time. He was just another number one amongst the number ones that helped lead a team to a championship. Yep. Playing with other teams' number one franchise players. So let's talk about the Lakers. Um, at the end of the day, we'll talk about the game, but to me, at the end of the day, the West is not good, folks. The West ain't good. There's no dominant team in the West. The East is way better. It's just better. And I don't know if Chat Holmgren would not have went down. Maybe that could have been the dominant team in the West. But we're in December, folks. We should already see, especially by the end of the year, who's the dominant team in the West. And the West has been like the dominant conference for a long time. So as much as the Lakers lose, they're gonna win. They're gonna lose. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. Then they're gonna lose. Then they're gonna win. Then, so what I'm saying is, I'll be surprised if they make a play-in spot. I just don't see it, man. I think they easily make the playoffs this season with no problem. Sacramento is garbage. And they got DeMar DeFrozen over there. Yeah, Sabonis. What's the excuse for these guys to be this bad? And every year, well, maybe they need to be bad because every year they've been good and then fell off the map at the end. Let me see these standings real quick. Okay, so you got OKC at 17-5, Houston at 15 and uh, is it Houston? That's what I'm talking about. I ain't trying to bang on Houston, but come on, man. Houston is 15-8 in second place. Then you got Dallas at 15-8, Memphis at 15-8, Golden State 13-9. Then you have the Clippers. The Clippers, out of all teams, 14-10. Um, then you have at the seventh spot, Phoenix, 12-9. Then Denver 11-9, Minnesota 12-10, and then you got the Lakers 12-11. So the Lakers are basically 6 games out of it. 5.5 out of first. This is nothing, folks. Even though they're at 10, that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I don't see one dominant team. Not OKC. They're a good team. Not Houston in second. Not Dallas. Not Memphis. Not Golden State. Especially not the Clippers. Not Phoenix. Not Denver. Not Minnesota. But when we look at the East, Cleveland is dominant. Boston is dominant. Orlando, even though they got whooped last night, they've been a great team. This is without Paolo Banchero. This is nuts. New York has been decent. Atlanta has been decent. Milwaukee, dude, I would take that top 6 against the top 6 in the West. And it would be kind of weird because you got, look at the big names. I don't care about the big names. I care about these guys really out here grinding out in the East more than they are in the West. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. And I said this last year, that the Lakers could just lollygag around. They don't have to play up to any expectations that was put on them. They can just lollygag around. And then make the play-in or make the playoffs. They don't have to play full throttle because if they have a good enough team, if they play defense like a top 5 team does, it would expose LeBron James. So they have to act like they can't play defense because LeBron James ain't going to play defense. And you already see the little defense that they play, it makes LeBron look like an idiot. It makes him look like he's out there just collecting a paycheck. So LeBron, 39 points. He did have 3 fouls. That's a miracle. But we did go into overtime. 11 rebounds, 11 assists. If I ain't mistaken, no offensive rebounds. I don't see how that's possible in a overtime. 6 for 11 from the 3. God, this guy shot 11 threes. That's just crazy, man. As bad as he been in this slump, he said, I don't give a damn. Watch this. And that's what I was talking about on some prior videos. If you go look at LeBron's early career in Cleveland, for that time, in the 2000s, he shot a lot of damn threes, but he was breaking them up. And a real coach will be like, hey, man, this ain't your shot, man. You're shooting 31%, 34%. Now I think you're shooting like 1 a game or 2 a game. Dude, you over here shooting 5 and 6 a game. You shooting what the big-time three-point shooters was shooting back then. The guys who were efficient three-point shooters, who were averaging 38%, 40%, 39%. He was shooting attempts that they were shooting, but he was only shooting like 31, 32, 33, 34, depending on what season it was in the 2000s. This guy don't give a damn. And why was he shooting a 3 so much? Because he ain't got no mid-range shot. So it's either a dunk or a 3. In all these years that he's been shooting these 3s, it only came out to 34% for a career. He was always up in the, I don't know, Skip said this one day, I think it was always in like the top 10 in the league and shooting the most 3-point attempts, but he was like way down there in like 100 and something in percentage. So this guy doesn't care, man. All those years shooting a 3 and not wanting to shoot the 2 in the mid-range, he could have been working on the paint game, right? Y'all, I made a video the other day. I said, you put right now, well, in the 2020s, Anthony Davis and LeBron James should have been dominating the 2020s. This soft, weak era, they should have both been dominating this era together. You're supposed to have a top 2 greatest player of all time with Anthony Davis. They should have dominated this era. You put LeBron James on one block, Anthony Davis on the other block. Which one you going to come at? So if you try to double team them, you kick it out to your guys on the perimeter. Bombs away. I mean, this ain't no rocket science, folks. I just don't see how. If you told me Anthony Davis had 38 points, uh, LeBron James had 39, I just don't see how they would lose. Well, folks, how they would lose was they don't play any defense. It was like, I don't know, it was like 2 minutes to go or something, and they went up like three or four. And I kind of like switched off. I was like, well, they ain't going to let them come back. Yes, they did, folks. And took them to overtime. Trae Young, 31 points. 9 for 25 from the field. God. They let two bench players on the Hawks get 20 points and 26 points. That's crazy. And none of the starters even had 20 points except for Trae Young. Well, 20 points or more than Trae Young. Connect, 6 for 11. This guy's shooting away. And LeBron James, the most minutes of any player. Just because you want to play all 82 games, that doesn't mean you have to have the most minutes. And this is the media's excuse now. Oh man, LeBron playing all these minutes, man. What you want him to do? He getting a triple double. He wants you to play defense. And what they're going to say is they need a third superstar. Nobody else has a third superstar, folks. Jordan didn't have a third superstar. Hell, Pippen didn't even make the All-Star team in 2 championships. And didn't deserve All NBA in 1998. That's ridiculous. Um, let's go down the list. How about Trae Young? Does he have two superstars players? Does he even have one? What about Tatum? Does he got two superstar teammates? No, Drew Holiday he's a great player. He's no superstar, folks. And don't tell me about, oh man, that guy played lockdown defense. Okay. But the rest of the Celtics showed that they want to play defense too. It's not going to work if Drew Holiday is just playing defense by himself. What about Wemby? Does he have a superstar teammate? Or two of them? What about Anthony Edwards? Does he have a superstar teammate? No. I would consider Julius Randle a superstar. What about Curry? Does he have a superstar teammate? No. So y'all got to stop. Some of these guys only got one superstar teammate or none. What about Giannis? Yeah, he got one. And that's what we told you guys. LeBron James can't win championships with one superstar teammate. He can't. The guy got too many shortcomings. This ain't about this year or last year or the year. This is all of his career. And even when he has two superstar teammates, he still fails. But are you kidding me? One superstar teammate? No. Mm-mm. It ain't going to work. Definitely ain't going to work. Too many shortcomings for this guy. Trae Young busted three to go ahead. What does LeBron James do? Well, they get on the ball, right? And this guy been, hitting the three all night. Man, that dude on, man. LeBron on, man. You can't stop LeBron. LeBron, he back on it, man. He back on it. Let me see what he shot from three last night. This guy shot 54% from three. 54% from three. But yet, I think it was 6 for 11. Six, 54% from three. But yet, when they gave him the ball to win the game, brick, brick, lebrick. He ain't that dude. He ain't that dude. He ain't got that clutch, folks. And I'm surprised they even gave it to him. But at this point, he ain't got nothing to lose. They ain't gonna talk about how many times he missed in the last 5 seconds or the last 10 seconds to go ahead. He done missed over 100 and has only hit like 10. It's crazy. 10 or 12 or something like that. That's why they say, man, this guy hit more clutch shots, hit more clutch shots with 5 to 10 seconds to go than Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or anybody. But this guy took over 100. And I think his percentage is something like 12% or something like that. So more than likely, this guy's gonna miss. He's not a shooter, man. Look at that. Look at this guy. Would you consider Karl Malone if you seen Karl Malone out there jacking up threes, looking like a damn bodybuilder? What are we talking about, folks? This guy literally has to be left open to hit these threes. Because at the end of the game, when they put hands up in this guy's face, he can't hit him like that. I remember one, I don't know, somebody made an image and they had the greatest clutch shooters or something like that. And they had like Kobe on there, Jordan on there, Paul Pierce on there. I think who was this? I forget this guy. He used to play for the Atlanta Hawks back in the day. Anyways, LeBron appears on there. And they said, what guy? No, and yeah, they said, what guy would you want taking the last shot? But when you looked at the image, you just looked at these guys because they were shooting, and you could it was the craziest thing you ever seen. And basically, all of them had great form, and they looked like shooters while they were shooting. But when you looked at LeBron James, the way he was shooting from his legs to his whole body to his release, it looks like the weirdest thing that shouldn't ever be seen from a shooter. Right? If you told me a guy was down there doing some post moves and you show me some form from Patrick Ewing or Keem or one of these guys played on the block or something, I could understand that. It's a different form, but to have this guy to portray him as a shooter is just the craziest thing you ever would think. Because this guy plays in the so-called greatest shooting era of all time, right? But the guy can't shoot. And he's never been able to shoot, not just in the 2020s. Is barrel to the basket, straight on to the head, to somebody's mouth, to somebody's chest, or elbows. That's what I'm saying. And you hear these play-by-play guys, can't stop that freight train. LeBron James, barrel into the basket. Well, who else is doing that? We never hear that's his only skill. Barrel into the basket for 18, 19, 20, 21 years. That's a skill? Or something that you had to do by hitting the gym and getting bigger while everybody else got smaller because you don't have any skills. And I just would like for this guy to do this in the 80s and 90s because with that straight arm and those elbows, those guys wouldn't wait for the whistle to blow and say offensive foul. Oakley would catch this dude with a right. Mason would catch this dude with a right. I think Mason was left-handed. With a left, players back then would knock this dude clean the hell out. Who are you stiff arming, dude? This ain't this ain't the NFL. I thought you had game. A center and a power forward will block off the lane. He'll be done. A lot of times, Michael Jordan, and that's why you like his videos, he had to do these incredible acrobatic shots to get these shots off because he was getting met at the rim. Tell me what you think.